So today we are going to learn how to make a homemade version of the Taco Bell Crunchwrap Supreme. I'm going to start off with using some tallow in my pan. I get this bucket on Azure Standard, and I think it's a 5 pound bucket of tallow, and it ended up being like, I don't know, less than $100. So I'm going to add, I think it was ended up being about 3 pounds of ground beef. And this is to feed our family of 5 with some extra left over. I think it's always a smart idea when you are preparing a meal for any amount of a family size to always make a little extra so you have extras for another meal. So you just want to get this meat browned up. No extra seasonings at this point because later on we're just going to add some taco seasoning. So you are literally just browning the meat. And right next to me, my daughter is attempting to make some eggplant. So yeah, so just brown the meat and make sure it's nice and cooked until we're ready to add the seasoning. This meal is super easy to make. It's basically like making taco meat, and literally I feel like the only thing different with the Crunchwrap Supreme is that you are adding some kind of a crunch factor to a burrito. So here I am. I'm adding 2 packets of taco seasoning, and you can either get the packets or make your own seasoning. I usually like to make my own blend of taco seasoning, but I didn't have a few of the spices that I needed, the key ingredient being the chili powder. So I opted to use 2 packets of taco seasoning for 3 pounds of ground meat. And then here I'm going to add the Tostino's cheese, melted cheese. There's some people that do a different variation of that cheese, but I'm just gonna heat it up on low while I kind of prep the tomatoes and get those diced up because we will be putting a little bit of diced tomatoes on top of all the other I don't know, ingredients in the Crunchwrap Supreme. So I just ended up chopping, I think it was like 3, I think I did a total of 3 tomatoes. I don't think I did 4. And I just finely chopped them, mainly because when you wrap up the Crunchwrap Supreme, you kind of want to fit it tight. And if you have anything that's too large, then it's kind of hard to fully wrap the Crunchwrap Supreme in the tortillas. So just chop them up pretty fine. And I just put mine in a container so that I can save, any extra that we have and put it away in the fridge. And then I'm going to prep some lettuce. You can use any kind of lettuce here that you want. I prefer something a little crunchier, so I'm just using this green leaf lettuce. Most people would probably use iceberg lettuce, but the last time I used iceberg lettuce, I found little bugs in mine, and so I'm just gonna stick with the green leaf lettuce. And I just kind of pick a few leaves, and then again, like the tomatoes, finely chop the lettuce, because again, it just makes it so much easier when you're wrapping the Crunchwrap Supreme, to not have like super large pieces of lettuce. And I just feel like, I don't know, just makes it a little extra crunchier because the pieces are so finely chopped. You can add a little bit more lettuce, and that's just how I like it. So, and then after that, all the prep work is pretty much done. If I guess if you wanted to add onion, you could add onion, but we like to do lettuce, tomato, sour cream. A new thing that we added was guacamole, and then some jalapenos on the side. So to assemble your Crunchwrap Supreme, you're going to put down some ground beef, then a tostada that has the nacho cheese on one side, and you're going to face it with the ground beef. Then on top of the tostada, you're going to layer the sour cream. This is one way of doing it, by the way. I'm going to show you a second way that I did it and what I prefer. So just layer it up with the sour cream on top and just add whatever amount you want, or you can omit this, I guess, too, if you do not like sour cream, but trust me, it adds to it. So after that, you're going to layer your lettuce on top. And again, everything is to your liking. There's no specific formula here. So just add your lettuce and then your tomato on top, and add however much tomato you want. I have one daughter that does not like tomatoes, so we omit the tomatoes for her. And then you're going to go around the Crunchwrap and wrap it around like I'm showing you here on the video. This is, I believe, a 14-inch tortilla that I get also from Azure, and they're the best for things like this or big burritos or whatever it may be. But it just wraps really nicely around the tostada. And then you try to get a pan going on medium heat so that while you're assembling your Crunchwrap Supreme, you can put your Crunchwrap Supreme straight on there, and you just want to slightly brown it. You don't want to, obviously burn it. So medium heat. I did mine on a cast iron skillet. It's the best, I think, for things like this. And then just literally maybe a minute or so, and then flip it. You're just trying to, I don't know, give the tortilla a little bit of crunch and just browning it on both sides enough. You're not cooking anything. So you can see here in this clip that it's just browned a little bit. So this is the second version of how I did the Crunchwrap Supreme. I did a little bit of ground beef, some nacho cheese, and then I also put some more nacho cheese on the tostada. And you will see me here flip the tostada. I still face it down, so it's just basically extra cheesy. And then I will I put the rest of the guacamole. You could do avocado probably if you don't like guac. Just put the guac down instead of the sour cream, because when I spread this down, I will be putting another tostada on top of this. So this is like an idea that my husband and I had after my first experiment with making the Crunchwrap Supremes. Is we thought, the first time that we had them, it just didn't seem crunchy enough for us. And so we wanted another extra layer of crunch. So we thought guacamole would be really good on it, but an extra tostada would be really good on it. So after you layer on the guac, put on another tostada on top of that. And then you will put the sour cream on top of that second tostada. And it just comes out really good. So put on a nice good thick layer of sour cream. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be whatever you want it to be. I did think about putting the jalapenos in between that guacamole layer, but I didn't. So then I put on some lettuce. I like a lot of lettuce, so I just finished up the rest of what we had. And then I put on the tomatoes. And again, I like tomatoes, so I put on a lot of tomatoes. And let me tell you, this Crunchwrap Supreme is a lot of food. It's kind of crazy because when you're assembling it, it may not seem like a lot, but it is. So, same process again. You're just wrapping the tortilla around to the diameter of the tostada. And this one came out a little extra big, so it's a little hard to wrap, but here it is. I browned it on each side and it just came out perfect. It was like literally the best Crunchwrap Supreme homemade version. Way better, in my opinion, than Taco Bell. We don't really eat at Taco Bell, but it just came out amazing. This is how I feel that like Taco Bell advertises the Crunchwrap Supreme, but it doesn't look like that when you actually get it. So here it is in all its glory, and I'll show you here a close-up of it. Anyways, it's a super duper easy meal idea. Literally, you're just making the fixings as if you were having taco night, or if you were making burritos, and I suppose you could probably make this into a burrito. But it's so easy to make, so easy to prep, and a good, easy meal for a family. So let me know down in the comments below if you tried the Crunchwrap Supreme or what you would change in this recipe. I know everybody has different variations of how they make their burritos or tacos. So thank you for watching and enjoy.